When you hear the word fairy, what comes to mind? Tiny glowing creatures with butterfly wings, helping princesses and granting wishes? That image is everywhere today. But here's the surprising part. For most of history, fairies weren't seen as cute or friendly at all. People across Ireland, Scotland, Wales, Scandinavia, and much of Europe genuinely believed they lived alongside humans. They could bring luck. But they could also bring sickness, steal children, or even lure travelers to their doom. So where did these stories come from? Let's explore what people believed, how those beliefs changed over time, and whether there might be a grain of truth behind one of humanity's oldest supernatural legends. What exactly are fairies? The word fairy actually describes hundreds of different magical beings. Depending on the country, they might be called the fair folk, the good people, the hidden ones, the little people, the side, in Irish mythology. Some were tiny. Others were as tall as humans. Some looked incredibly beautiful. Others appeared frightening or monstrous. Unlike modern fairy tales, ancient fairies weren't a separate species with wings. Many legends describe them as supernatural beings living in another world, a realm existing beside our own but usually hidden from human eyes. People believed certain places acted as gateways between these worlds. Ancient burial mounds, stone circles, forests, lakes, hills, caves. These locations were often treated with great respect. And sometimes fear. The origins of fairy beliefs. No one knows exactly where fairy stories began. Historians have several theories. One idea is that they came from ancient pagan religions. As Christianity spread across Europe, many older gods and nature spirits gradually transformed into the fairies of folklore. Another theory suggests they were inspired by memories of earlier peoples. Some believe stories about mysterious underground races may have reflected encounters between different ancient cultures. Others think fairy legends simply helped explain the unexplained. A child disappears. Someone becomes suddenly ill. Livestock die without warning. Instead of random misfortune, people blamed the fair folk. These explanations gave communities a way to understand a dangerous and unpredictable world. Fairy traditions vary dramatically. In Ireland, the Aos were believed to live beneath fairy hills. People avoided damaging these places. Even today, some roads have reportedly been rerouted rather than disturb ancient fairy forts. In Scotland, the Seelie court represented generally helpful fairies. The Unseelie court, however, was far more dangerous. These beings were thought to enjoy causing harm for no reason at all. In Wales, the Tylwyth Teg were beautiful but mysterious. Meeting one could bring incredible fortune. Or terrible consequences. In Scandinavia, nature spirits guarded forests, rivers, and farms. Treating nature respectfully wasn't just good manners, it was believed to keep these spirits happy. Despite the differences, one idea appears almost everywhere. Fairies deserved respect. Never insult them. Never steal from them. And never assume they meant you well. One of the strangest fairy legends involves changelings. Across Europe, people believed fairies sometimes kidnapped human babies. In their place, they left one of their own children, disguised to look human. Today, historians think these stories may have been attempts to explain illnesses or developmental conditions that people didn't understand at the time. Fairies were also blamed for sudden exhaustion, strange illnesses, becoming lost in familiar places, hearing mysterious music, missing time. Some legends warned never to eat food offered by fairies. Once you accepted it, you might never return to the human world. These stories sound fantastical now. But centuries ago, many people genuinely followed these warnings. So what happened? Why do we imagine tiny flying creatures today? The answer is literature. During the Victorian era, artists and writers transformed fairies into delicate, winged beings. Children's books made them friendly. Painters gave them butterfly wings. Then came movies like Disney's Peter Pan, where Tinker Bell became one of the world's most famous fairies. Over time, the frightening supernatural beings of folklore became symbols of magic, innocence, and imagination. The ancient fear gradually disappeared. So could fairy legends be based on reality? There's no scientific evidence that fairies exist. But that doesn't mean the legends aren't valuable. Many researchers think fairy stories preserved ancient beliefs about nature. Others see them as symbolic explanations for things people couldn't understand. Some psychologists believe encounters with fairies may have been vivid dreams, sleep paralysis, hallucinations, or altered states of consciousness interpreted through local beliefs. Whatever their origin, fairy stories reveal something fascinating about the human imagination. Across hundreds of years and countless cultures, people independently created remarkably similar tales. Today, fairies mostly live in fantasy books and films. But for thousands of years, they were something very different. They represented mystery, nature, the unknown, and humanity's attempt to explain a world filled with wonder. Whether you see them as folklore, forgotten gods, or simply great stories, their magic has survived longer than almost any other legend. So next time you walk through an ancient forest or pass a lonely stone circle, you might wonder, what if those old stories started somewhere?